Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody. Let me find us on my phone so that I can answer questions. There we are. My phone is down. All right. I popped in a little bit. Oh, I guess I am. I was over in the other group helping people know to come over here for you guys. So, hey, Trisha. We're going to, hi Carla, we're going to let everybody get on. As you can see behind me, I'm actually doing the live from my house tonight. So please let me know how the streaming and the voice and everything is going. I upped my internet here to see if this will work because this time of day in the shop down at the lake, there's no air conditioning. And oh, that's a no go. No, no, no. That is not. Oh, Marge, you made it on. Good, good, good. Hey, Pam. I am feeling better. So, yesterday, in that shop with no air, and then a friend of ours down on one of the docks invited us down to eat real quick. He made dirty rice. Well, it was real greasy. It was so good. And so I ate that, and then I came back up into the heat, and ooh, I just went down. I just could not do it. So we were back down at the shop at a little before 6 a.m. this morning to get work done before the heat of the day because right now at that shop down at the lake, probably noon is about the longest we can stay. So our hours are changing to like 5 a.m. to noon at the shop. Then back here to do all of the packing and creating and all that kind of stuff. So, hey Charlotte, hey Pam, two Pams, hi Edie, Kathy, Cindy, Jay, Catherine. Wow, we've got a lot of you on. Hi Diane, Diane Moore and Diane Asby. Diane Asby, I hope you're doing well. Let me know. Hey Deb, whoops, got a phone call coming in. And Carla, I'm not sure if I said hi yet to Carla. So tonight I'm gonna show you a fun little project. I have seen, oh good, Diane. I have seen comments of needing to, in addition to the larger items, some smaller items for shows and things like that, to get people to buy. So who is saying hi to me? Oh, Bettina. Hi, Bettina. Hi, Kat. Hi, Chandra. So tonight I'm actually showing you two little projects. You've seen one of them before, and this one you've seen it before, but I'm going to explain to you and show you a way using a collection how you can take that buyer, maybe that's coming in, and I explain it all in a video, so I shouldn't explain it now because then it's just going to be a repeat. Hi, Gina. Just going to be a repeat. So what time is it? So 6:35, 5:35, 5:35. Did I say 5:30 we were coming on? I guess I did, didn't I? Oh, now I confused myself because we've been doing 6:30. So if I've confused you all, I'm so sorry because I've confused myself. I don't know why I said 5:30, but I am here. Hey, Pat. So let me show you. Get ready for video number 1. Now remember, this is my free group, and I created this group to show my products and demo my products and things like that for you. So when you see that, that's what this group was for. I do have my membership group, and we do other projects in there. Well, I do projects in here too that aren't just my products. But anyway, I did accidentally, sorry, I did accidentally come up with a new pin. And let me tell you, it was accidentally. And it has a companion pin to make a collection. Hey, Bettina, thank you. Oh, you've been in Italy for a few weeks and you didn't take me with you? Man. Hi, Betty. So, anyway, working in a collection, you can have things set out and people can look at it and go, oh, I just love this. And then they see the other half of the collection and it's hard to leave it behind. But if they do, you still get the smaller cell, but you can potentially upsell without even pushing on that. Hey, Teresa. Hi, Nancy. So let me show you, sorry, let me show you this, sorry, let me show you this first video and we'll kind of get started. Okay, so I do have my slab of B mix right here. I do have it a good 1/4 inch thick, maybe a little more, because I am going to texture it today. And as always, I'm going to compress this first. Just to help with cracking. For those of you that have never watched a demo here, this is something we do every single time we work with a slab of clay. This helps minimize your cracking, and it is vitally important that you do it if you want to minimize that cracking. Okay, now I am going to texture this, which again is why I had it a little thicker, and you'll see me do that. This is in celebration of May and blooming flowers and all of that. This is my new Whoopsie Daisy. Love this pen. And I created a complement to this pen for a collection. And you're going to see that here in a second. But for now, let me make sure I'm on. I am. For now, I'm going to actually roll this pen out. I'm going to stand up here and do this. Let me move me up. I like to be above my clay where I can put downward pressure. These pens are 12 inches wide and there's a little metal bar inside. So a lot of times when you press down, that little bar might stick in there. I tend to really love to just press and roll in the middle of my cart. All right, sorry about that. Somebody didn't know I was filming and they came to my door. So I'm gonna continue on here. And I'm just gonna roll this. It doesn't take a lot of pressure, but again, I find that the even pressure pressing down gives me the beautiful roll that I want. In fact, this roller is almost too deep. Move this piece of clay out of my way. Look at that. Oopsie daisy. In fact, like I said, let me see if you can see the depth of that. That's almost too deep. If you can have too deep, that's almost too deep. Love it. So there is Oopsie Daisy rolled out. Look at that. Oh, I forgot the video ended there. Okay, so I have a couple questions. Let's address those questions. First off, I have Pam asking, how do you get your slab so square or even? Well, I do use a slab roller. And then if I'm going to use a 12-inch pen and I happen to know the project that I'm doing isn't going to need more than that, I'll just go ahead, when I roll it out on the slab roller, I'll just cut off a 12-inch slice. So I kind of cut it off that way. But I do use a slab roller. And let's see, I have a question from Marge. Do you let the slab sit for a while so the roller doesn't stick? Um, Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It was so hot in the shop today, rolled that out, and within 10-15 minutes, I was using it. But it was so hot that the clay was already setting. If you're having an issue with sticking, spread a little cornstarch on your slab, and you can even dust your pen with cornstarch. The first few times you use it, you may have more sticking because of the wood sap, but once you've used it for a while, it'll stop that as well. So hope that helps. I can't see who some of you are. Sweet, I really like the other new pen as well. I'm thinking you mean the Ananami? Ananami? I should not name pens words that I can't say. But it is what it is. Okay, so never late, Renee. I actually did this early. We were talking about that at the beginning. I've been going on at 6:30, and I came on at 5:30 today. That was our old time, so I kind of messed us all up. I'm sorry. Anyway, so let's go to the second video. Okay, for this project, I'm going to use two different textures. This one is Baby Daisy, and this daisy and these little diamonds are right off of Oopsie Daisy. So, totally different style, but look at that complement. Look at that collection. So, let me show you. Today's about making small items and making complements to where somebody who would normally just want to buy one little dish may want to buy the complement dish. So again, I'm going to put this here. I'm going to roll down. I'm going to press this down. And again, here I'm talking through it. It does not take a whole lot of pressure, but it gives you a much more even pressure if you can be above it, like I am. I'm just going to walk it right to the end, and I don't usually drop it off the end just because it like squishes. All right, so here is the complement pattern. Is that not gorgeous? Look at that. You could do all kinds of things. That looks like a quilt, all kinds of things. So with that, here are our two textured slabs that we're going to use to create just some little fun nested sets or plates. These are simple little dishes that, again, if you complement them like this with a collection, people may tend to go, oh, I can't leave one behind. I want them both, or I want the 3-piece set. So we will be back. I was reading your comment, Misty. Nope, we just had the conversation. 5:30 was our old time way back, and I just, it wasn't in my right mind yesterday. I was way overheated, and I guess my brain went back to the old time. So I did that to all of us, and I apologize. So, do you see what I'm saying now? I've done nested sets before, and one of my favorites is Quirky. You'll see that tonight. And hi, Diane. You should ship tomorrow. I'll be emailing you, so watch for the email. Um, what was I saying? Oh, so in the quirky, you've seen that before, but then there's going to be another set tonight with a different form. But I'm going to show you both of them because I want you to see, like, if you're rolling out a texture and you roll the texture and you do like all three quirkies the same, and if you don't know, if you're new to the group tonight, you don't know what the quirky is, you'll see that. But if the design is all the same, it's still beautiful. It's still gorgeous. Um, because these, and I don't have them here to show you. They're at the shop, but you'll see it through the videos. When you look down them, they look almost floral, and they flow together all organically, and they're beautiful. But when you do it with like complementing textures and then complementing glazes. And so I want you all to think about when you see the quirky finished, and that's going to be at the very end. That was just a little bonus. Think about how you would glaze those complementing patterns or those coordinating patterns to make them such a set that that person that's coming in and wants to buy one little dish kind of decides they can't leave the other one behind. So we really want to think about how we're going to glaze those as well. In addition, think about this. If you, yeah, Susan, those quirkies are fantastic. I love those quirkies. And again, if you guys are new here, when you see the quirky, again, it's going to be at the end. You're going to see how quick and easy you can put together a nested set or a single dish or whatever. And they're super quick and easy. They're foolproof. They're gorgeous. Anyway, as I was saying, you could set these in your booth out, not nested, but set them out beside each other. And you would price the individual plates such that if they bought them as the nested set, they get a few dollars off. So now they've got a coordinated set. They don't want to leave one plate behind. And, oh, if I buy them all, I'm going to save some money. So it's just a way to kind of help you at the shows, art fairs, whatever you're doing, online, whatever, to take that single plate person to maybe a whole set. Now, if they don't, that's okay too, because you still have the other beautiful plates that can also sell. But it's just an idea to try to help you out. So let's go on to this next one. Let me see. Did I have a question first? What is the design between the squares of the flower? On the full flowered pin, it's simply little diamonds. And in the more symmetrical pin, the diamonds are in one block and the little daisy is in the other block. And it's the exact daisy from the other pin and the exact diamonds from the other pin. Let's see. What else? I thought I saw another question up here. Maybe I didn't. I could have sworn, and I don't want to miss somebody's question. If anybody asked a question and I didn't answer it, please put it back in here because I don't want to leave you out. What is the plate behind you? That plate? The blue and pink plate? That is, oh, my camera's fading in and out. That's a piece that I did, golly, a while back. I just haven't done it on here because these colors are not commercial glazes. They're my studio glazes, and I don't like to really use glaze that you guys don't have access to because I think that's kind of wrong. But thanks for noticing. The big tall vase is one of our Slab to Fab Society projects. And then the butterfly is a workshop that I haven't had time to finish. But it's a set of butterflies. He's dusty. On a rock that I was going to demo at ClayCon West, and then we had COVID and didn't get to go. So that's going to be a workshop, and I have another possibly 2 workshops, but I may combine the other 2 into one just fantabulous workshop webinar, and that's in the works. But for the next 2 weeks, starting next week and the following week, I am hosting the fabulous Dean McRain, the color clay artist. If you do not know who he is, look up Dean McRain. He, let's see, what's his studio name? Color, I can't remember. I'll look it up while this video plays and tell you what it is. His work is phenomenal, and I'm hosting him for 2 weeks, so there'll be lots to share from there. Okay, let's look at this, the beginning of this project. Okay, I'm going to use 2 different sets. I'm going to use this 12-sided octagon, so whatever that would be called. It's 12 sides instead of 8. Because I thought these edges would look really good with this and with the daisy. And for this, I'm going to actually make a little 3-piece nested plate set. And what I want to do is I want to complement them. So I want the smallest to be the daisy and the largest to be the daisy and the one in the middle to be this pattern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut enough off of here, and I think I'm going to do it in a diagonal, and then I'm going to cut enough so that when I whoops, move that aside. Oh, the stencil still, come on, don't see those stencils. All right, so what I want is I want it wide enough so that when I drape it across my form with my template, I have excess around. But oh, I am so in love with this pattern. So in love with this pattern. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move everything out of my way. I'm going to bring in my banding wheel. I'm going to bring in my banding wheel system so I can sit this on it, and we're going to get to work. Okay, I am back. I have my slab. I just love that. I have my banding wheel with my peg, and I'm going to show you. So here I have my template, and then I take with my hole, and we have holes in all of our forms, so this will work with all of them. And this little edge is going to give me just about a little 1/4 inch or a little 1/8 inch rim, a little lip, if you will. Now, I don't put what size template goes with which size form on my templates, and this is why. I like to mix and match. Maybe I want a bigger lip, or maybe I want a big rim. So look at that. This will give you a whole different look. You could actually then flute between all of these edges. This is a 12-sided octagon. I have to look that up and see what that's called. I just know it's got 12 sides. But that's why I don't put what template goes with which form technically, because I do like to mix and match. But I am going to go this set with the smaller rims, more the lip size. So I'm going to get that in the direction that I want it. Look at that. Look at how gorgeous. Now I'm going to take my little slab of clay, put this over here. Look at this slab. Look how thick that texture is. I love this texture. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I should have gone the other direction. Hold on. Let me flip this around. What I'm going to do so I can see what I'm doing is I'm going to bring this across. Ooh, I put my slab on a spider. Let me get that spider out of there. Oh, goodness. Yeah. Ah, that's not what you want to see. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I like to just lightly wet my rib. And because this one has these sides on it, the square edges, I'm going to come around and come up with this. Now, I'm not working very, very hard here because I have texture. So I'm going very gingerly, very easily on here, and just pulling this around. And I do want the top flat, so I'm going to come flat and make that flat. Now I will tell you, because these are rounded, you don't have to worry so much. You could take your red rib. Again, I like to just dip it in the water just so it slides. And I'm going to bend it, and I'm not going to use much pressure at all. I'm just going to kind of drag this around. Oops. I'm going to just kind of drag this around and get this top edge nice and rounded. See that? Nice and rounded. Now I'm going to flip this to a rounded edge, and I'm going to come around here and press this in. And again, I'm not pressing hard. I have texture under there. And I think what I'm going to do is this for the foot. So if I come in and stop where I feel the template, see how this just kind of takes me around. I have all of this left over. Look what I have left over. And I think what I'm going to do is this. I think I'm going to take my knife and cut these little squares. I'll clean that up. There's one. There's another one. And again, I'll clean these up. Let me find another one, full one. Ah, here we go. Here's another one. So I have 3. I'm going to use those for the feet. And I'm going to save this because I bet you I can use this for something else creative here. Ugh. All right. So now what I'm going to do, now that I can see the sides, I'm going to actually come back across this one last time and get anything I may have missed. like just some little scraps. And the reason I do that is because it's less sponge work. And now that I got most of the clay out of my way, it makes it nice and even. So it's just this that I now don't have to try to clean up with a sponge. Speaking of sponge, I'm going to come around here and use my sponge to kind of take and round these 12 corners. There. That easily one and done. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take and I think I'm just going to come right on the inside of this, cut that little edge off. And decide, do I want little squares? Because these are where I could put them, but I think what I want to do is this. I want to cut these corners just to make it more the shape. More that octagon-ish shape. I think I like that better. Keeping it more the shape of the plate. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut those outside lines first. Oops. And now I'm going to square those corners off. Again, giving it more of the octagon-ish shape. And they don't have to be exact. That one right there. And one more. And those are going to be cute. Put that one kind of crooked. Again, that's okay because I'm coming across and making these octagon-ish. And I'll put that one right there. Maybe that one needs to come over one. There we go. So just for something different, we're going to put little daisy feet on. So I'll take my, little craft brush, put that in my slippy water. I'm just going to set that there so that I know where it's at until I get ready to score the dish. I'll fix those in 1 minute. Right there. All right. Now, I've got the advantage of looking up at my camera to see that these are pretty evenly matched. And then what I'll do is I'll press them down so that I can see where they were, so that I can slip that or score that. And now I'm going to put them on kind of where they meet the same shape on the outside. That's why a banding wheel is good. If you don't have one, might be one of your next investments you want to make. This banding wheel system, super banding wheel system, makes it easier, and all of our forms have holes in them, so they work really well. Keeps everything in place. There's no sliding going on. Now I'm going to take my craft brush and come around and get all that slip out of there. And I'm going to take my sponge and just slightly round the corners of this octagon daisy, like I did with my actual plate. Now, just the little extra step of the daisy feet that match the daisy design get people all excited when they see this. I'm going to take one of my templates and I'm going to very gently pat this down. I don't want to smash my daisy. See? Don't want to smash my daisies. I simply want these to be level. Now, what I'll do is I'll take this and I'll go set this for a few hours so that this will start pulling away, and then we'll come back and flip it over and see what we've got. Okay, so I got to tell you, so the 12-sided polygon, even as I'm looking at the word, I can't say it, it's DODECAGON, dodecagon, 12-sided polygon. That's what it is. So the name of the scratching tool, let me go back into Facebook because I wanted to tell you what that was. Okay, so who asked? I'm just seeing Facebook. It hasn't updated on my phone yet, so I can see who you were by name, but I see the person below you gave you the answer. It is the Zine tool. Has the scoring on one end and the needle tool on the other, and I use it all the time. Almost all the time. Okay, so that was the symmetrical pin. I have another video where I also do the same exact dish with the daisy, but we're already at 6:10. I'm going to go to the next videos, and then maybe we'll come back to that if we have time. But I'm going to make, that video is exactly like the one you just saw with the opposite texture. So if you need to see me make that dish again, maybe replay the part we just watched. So let's go to the quirky bonus. Got my scoring tool from Amazon. I did too. I know that they're out a lot, but if they're back in, grab it while you can. Okay, so in this previous video, I draped the clay over the form. Now on the quirky, for those of you that have not been here before, on this quirky, we're going to do it just the opposite. So I wanted those both in the same evening so that you could see draping and pushing. And any of my dual drape forms can be draped or pushed. That's why I call them dual drapes. They work both ways. So let's go to the quirky bonus. Okay, just for a little bonus, let me move back over here out of the way. Just for a little bonus. Oh my gosh, do you not love, love, love this? Now, I did leave these plain, but you can actually customize this. Maybe you want little dots. That's too big. Maybe you want, let me do this and then I'll do it with a scrap. So as a little bonus, I just wanted to show you, I showed you doing drape the clay over the form in the template. As a 3-piece set, you can set those plates out as 3 individual pieces, or they could buy it as the set. So you could raise the price slightly of the individual pieces and make the 3-piece set actually a little bit less expensive to also entice them in to purchase the 3-piece set, because they're not going to want to leave one of these behind when they all match as a set. So let me show you this. This is my quirky small set because we want to go for the smaller items right now. I actually want this. I want to leave a couple of those to show you something. Okay, so my quirky is super quick, super easy. You can lay these out in production. Okay, so I'm just going to come around and cut that off. I'm going to set this aside because I want to use it here in a second. Did I not cut that? Yes, I did. Oh, maybe I didn't cut that all the way. Goodness sakes. I never not cut a quirky. There we go. All right. So there's that. What I'm going to do now is simply lightly sponge around this edge, and I'll get the back side in a little bit. Okay, now let me go get my foam. Okay, what I have here is a piece of foam, which is this thick, this long, about 4 inches. I like to take and put a piece of craft foam on the top with my piece of clay. I mean, is that, that daisy. Oh, that daisy. In fact, I may name this, Oh, that daisy. Then I'm going to take my push plate and I'm going to come down in the middle. I can make it exactly fit, the same shape. But I find with the craft foam underneath it, the craft foam helps lift it really pretty. And now I'm going to just press. And it gives me, and I want this one to stay pretty flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand underneath, flip this over, move my foam out of the way, grab a cup, and I'm just going to balance it on that so it stays just this little bit of flute. Little bit of flute. I want this one kind of out. It's going to be the bottom. And once this sets a little bit, then I'll come around and get these edges. Right now, I'm going to leave it as is. Oh, I'm not leaving it as is. I'm going to take a little bit of clay and make 3 balls. 1, and I want them the same size. That was not the same size. That's not the same size. Eh, I think it's going to be easier to add to this one than take away. So I'm just rolling it around in my hand. That's better. I can tell you right now, this one's way too big. Roll this, roll this, roll this. Too big. A little bit more off. Okay. Yeah. It does make a difference. So pinch the little extra inch. There we go. So what I'm going to do is simply this. I can see where that ball is. I'm going to score this, just set it there. Score this, set it there. Score this, score this, set it there. Grab my brush and get both sides and kind of spin and press lightly on all 3 pieces. Spin and press. Now, you can leave that way. For instance, I could just lightly press this and leave them nice round balls. But I will tell you, this is part of the 3-piece set. I've already done the other 2 offline, so you didn't have to watch it. And I did smush them a little more. I do like them taller like this, and I could do this one taller since it's the bottom. And I just think I will. I'm going to leave this one taller like that since it's the bottom. Because I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Now I'm just going to come around and make sure that's really in there. And it's smooth on these little balls. I'm going to tap that just. I don't want to smush it. I just want them to tap down. There we go. And then take my craft brush and get that slip out of there. That also secures that joint. Okay, now I'm just gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave this and let it set, then we'll flip it over. But I wanted you to see that you could drape the clay over or you could press it. And the 2 different looks you get of these beautiful little nested sets, you could take any of the shapes that I have. If you've bought all the 4-piece sets, you could take any of those shapes and do the 4 pieces pressed like this and make adorable nested sets. They don't have to be just plates or bowls or whatever. All right, that is that. Okay. Um, Betty, you're in Garden Grove, right? Because I noticed you're talking aardvark in Santa Ana. You know, I went to junior high school in Garden Grove, right on Trask Avenue at Doig. And Diane, I hadn't thought to use the craft foam. Let me tell you, that craft foam, if you're trying to get your piece to pop up nice and organic and pretty, that craft foam helps raise it up. And I also find when I press into foam, you get that little foamy texture or little crackies around the bottom edge of your piece, but using that craft foam eliminates that too. That's really where I came up with the craft foam. And when I came up with the craft foam to stop the little cracking and texturing on my piece, it popped that plate up. And let me tell you, that's kind of where the quirky set was born. That's where that started from. Roll over the bottom of the feet with the pin. Yes, Patricia. Patricia, tell me, do you go by Patty or is it Patricia? I love to be able to call people by the name that they're used to. That's an excellent idea as well, and that gives a little personalization and that kind of thing. So I could do that as well. Now I will be making stamps out of these, so I could actually also when I create the stamp, I could stamp on that ball foot, or I could leave it. Oh, good. Okay, Patty, I'll call you Patty. I feel better about that, knowing the correct name to call you. And so I do like the ball feet though, because it raises it and gives it kind of a whimsical kind of look. And that pattern is kind of fun and whimsical as well. But let me show you what you could do with that pattern as well if you want to customize it. Um, Forgive this next video, I messed up, but you're going to get the idea. Let me show you this. Okay, I thought I had this recording. Apparently I didn't, but I wanted to show you. These have been, see how that's just smooth? Well, you can come in and customize this. I just took the end of my paintbrush and came and put dots. Put a little dot, put some dots, put a little dot, little dot, little dots, little light dots if you wanted it real. See what that did? And this one, I just kind of went like this and just kind of made a little smiley face. But see on this one, I don't have anything in there. I can just, so you can customize this particular design and add dots, leave it as is, dress it up, have it your way. I just wanted to show you that little thing. Okay, so it was designed with nothing in the daisy centers, but you can put anything in there you want to. A little stamp, anything you want in there. So you could have a pen that looks different than anybody else's. Now, let's get to, let's see. Oh, let me flip the dish. Flip the dish. Okay, this little dish, I did put my mark in there. This little sweet dish is ready to flip. So what I'm going to do is put it in my hand. I'm just taking a template, flipping it over, and kind of getting that to come off. And wow, that looks pretty darn good already. So What I'm going to do is sponge this down just a little bit and see if I can, if you need to, you don't want to wait too long, you can always like press this back just a hair, because this should pop right out like that. Now, how is that for a, and I love this 8-sided is actually a Dotagon. Hold on. I looked it up and I still can't say it. I'll tell you. Dodecagon. 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 I call it a 12-sided dish. That works for me. 12-sided dish. So here's one. Now, this is with just the little lip template. See how it just curls over your edge, but gives you a nice, even, beautifully even edge. So there is that one flipped. Okay, here's the bigger one, the old daisy one that I did kind of a peace sign just because I thought it was cute. So I'm going to flip this one over. Oh, that one popped right off. I love these little 1/4-inch lip templates because look at what a beautiful edge you get. And if you need to knock some stuff off, just barely knock it off. I mean, how perfect can you get? Look at that. Let me see. Let me pull this out. It doesn't want to come right out. Just lightly, very lightly pull that back. And that'll come right out. Oh my gosh. You could even then set it back up if you want to. Oh, I love that. Look at that. Tell me that isn't going to be summer fun. Summer fun. Plates, dishes, bowls, vases, all kinds of stuff. This is going to be a 3-piece nested set, but this could be anything you wanted it to be. And like I said, you could do it this way and then get a plate rim. These were originally designed as dinnerware, but I have found you can go up or down in your templates and actually get this, love this look, or get the big brim. So there is the second one. We'll be back. Here's the little baby. Whoops. I think I stuck my finger in that at some point. Here's the little baby. Just gonna flip it. Oh, those come right off. And again, I haven't touched this yet. Look at this. That's why I go back over with my needle tool when you've seen me do it a second time. Look, I can't tell you. I don't even know if this shows you. Look at that perfect edge. It just lightly comes out. Ah, gosh, I love that. And then if it doesn't pop right out, just barely pop that loose. This one's still a hair wet, but that's okay. Pop that right out. Look at that. And you can pop it right back in if you want. I didn't pop it out enough to really make a difference. And I love the roundness on the inside. Look at this. I'm going to let this set just a hair more. Just a hair more. And we'll set them inside each other and see. These are the ones that I did the little daisy feet. So we'll be right back. Okay. I was wanting to tell you guys something and it flew out of my head. I don't remember. Oh, I know what it was. So with my jewel drapes, go back and watch that little piece of video, the one of me just flipping the dishes, and really take note of that clay is still, it's not totally leather hard. I can still slightly move it a little bit so that, because I don't like the strong angle. I like the straighter angle with the little lip templates. So you don't want to let that clay get as leather hard, because then you'll have a hard time getting that form out. But if you'll notice, if you watched me, I just barely moved that enough for that form to pop right out. Um, so go back and watch that and see when I touch the clay, the firmness or the softness, whichever you want to call it, of what that clay looks like, so that you can kind of get a feel for where you want your clay to be when you make these. Now, are you ready? 2 minutes over. So for those of you that stuck around, let's take a look at the final reveal of both of these nested sets put together. Okay, now I just want to flip this little quirky push dish that I did. And the thing that really makes these the best are using the craft foam on top of your foam. foam. And let me grab a template here. Let me put this on here. Come from underneath. Yes, that's my Coke. I gotta have sugar after yesterday. Okay, now I'm gonna flip this and pull this out. Look at this. This is an amazing dish. That's just like that. Move my keyboard. So if I just come around the edges, this one's still a little soft, but I needed to flip it because I wanted to see how this was going to sit on the inside. I did these yesterday, but look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is a 3-piece collection. And you see how they complement, because these are the same elements that I took out of here and just completely did them differently, but they go perfectly together. So you can have this sitting apart. You can have them sitting here apart like this, or together, and price them individually, price them as a set. This is still too dry. I mean, too wet. I'm going to flip this back over. Price them apart or price them individually. And most of the time, people are going to want the whole set, because you see this dish, you see this dish. Look at how beautifully they go together. It's going to be hard to choose, and it's going to be hard to leave one behind. I need something to set this on. That needs to sit. Stiffen up more. Okay, so there's that set. Oh, golly. Compliments. Call it collection. All right, so there's that. Let me go get this other 3-piece set. Hold on. Okay, now you saw the quirky set. Let me show you the set we actually made today. Here is the Octagon Dish.
with Oh My Daisy. Here is with its complimentary daisy squares. And then on the inside, you have the daisy again. So you tell me, if you price these for a show, if you price each of these individually, but you have them in a collection type set like this, and you glaze them to be a set like this, not many people are going to want to walk away with just one. They're going to look at that and go, oh, but I got to have this. Oh, it's cheaper. I'll just buy the set. And there you have your set. Also, imagine had you used the wider rim, and this was a set of a serving set or a place setting of dishes. How gorgeous would that be? So there you have it.
Okay, so there you have it. Just kind of trying to help out getting some sales at a show. Jill asked, what's the flower dish behind me? I'm assuming you're referring to that blue and pink one. I showed this a little earlier. Somebody asked that same question. This is a piece. This is a piece I've made a while back, and I haven't really shown it because the glazes are not commercial glazes. They're studio glazes of mine. And since they're not readily available to anybody else, that would kind of be a bummer. Oh, here, let's make this dish, but you can't make one like it. So I just think that's not fair. So I'll have to do one with a different glaze. So both those daisy, yep. Oh, but I gotta have both daisy pins. LOL, love them. Yes, but that right there is exactly what your customers are gonna say. Oh, but I can't decide. Do I love the daisies? Do I love the more symmetrical? Oh, I just gotta have them both. Jill asked, can you explain the templates and the pattern? I'm not sure what you mean. Can I explain what part of it? Huh? She asked a question about the dual drapes. Did I miss it? Why do I call it dual drapes? I call them dual drapes because this video tonight was a perfect explanation. You can drape the clay over, which you saw me do. Leslie, that's who's asking. Okay, so you can drape the clay over them as you saw me do in the 12-sided dish, or you can press as I did with the quirky. So they're dual purpose. One form, you can get short little lips, get one look. You can use wider rims, get a plate. You can press down and get an organic push look. So I call it dual because you can do many things with the one form. So that was it. Did anybody else have any other questions before I jump off of here? We're just a hair over. Hey, Paula. I just showed that dish. Oh. Oh, I didn't have a template for that, so to speak. And that will eventually be a class in my Slab to Fab Society, but that's not a template or form like what I make. So I really don't know how to explain that in a short amount of time, but it'll be out. But it's not something I make. The form's not something that I make. Any other questions? The pins and the 12-sided, those 12-sided forms, we've had those for quite some time. And I don't know why I forgot to ever put them on the website. But think about pie dish. These, that would make a great pie dish. Or these daisy pins, could you imagine them as a pie dish using the sweetie pie template? It's the rounded. Oh gosh, that would be gorgeous too. The video is really coming in good tonight. Misty, thank you. Thank you, thank you. So, Misty, because the studio at the lake is so hot by this time of day, you weren't on at the beginning. We now get up and get down there by about 6 in the morning and have to get out of there by about noon, or we die like what happened yesterday. I got the internet service that I had down there to come here to my house because nobody could get internet here to work, which is why I was always going to my son-in-law's shop. Well, the guy, when he put our internet down there, which was the whole reason, one of the reasons we were moving down there, because I wanted to be able to do random lives. Well, he said, I can get you internet. And I said, come and try it. I dare you. Well, darn it, he did. And apparently it works because I've had no issues with the internet tonight, which means I could actually move the studio back to the house and do my lives from here. And it would be inside my house, so it is climate controlled. I won't freeze in the winter. I won't suffocate in the summer. So yes, we're contemplating. Terrible, terrible. So Patty says, when are the stamps coming? Yes, please. Put the 12-sided on the site. Patty, the 12-sided is on the site. What did I call it? Oh, I called it 12-sided, and I put what the real name is in parentheses. You go out there, you figure out how to say that word. I can't get it to come out of my mouth. So it is out there. It's actually the first one on the dual drape form tab. The rolling pins are out there. They're the first two on the textured rolling pin tab. And I did not put the daisy stamps up yet because I gotta make and test those, but I will get that done. Tomorrow's Saturday. And I've got Dean McRain here for 2 weeks. Lightwave Studio, thank you, Penny, for putting that up there. Dean McRain is awesome. 2 full weeks with Dean McRain. Oh my gosh, I am going to be on overload. Speaking of, the actual workshop I'm hosting with Dean is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of this coming week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of the following week. What does that mean for you? Well, that means I won't be doing lives on those 2 Thursdays. So what I'm going to do is move it up in the week. I'll try to do it Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'll let you know the first of next week what day. Oh, hey, Misty, that's a fantastic idea. I might do that in our society group. I just might do that. But I'm going to have to do our live like Tuesday or Wednesday for the next 2 weeks because I will be holding that workshop for Dean McRain on the next 2 Thursdays. With that, I kept you guys 15 minutes over time. Shame on me. With that, thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you, and it doesn't have to be my pen, my forms, whatever. I hope you got from this the concept of making collections, making sets, pricing them individually, but grouping them together. So if somebody can only afford one, then they'll buy that. But if they can afford it and are just on the fence, they're not going to want to walk away from your collaborated set. So with that, thank you guys for joining, and I will see you guys in a couple weeks. Bye, everybody. And remember, this replay will always be in this group, so you can go back and watch this. Good night.